Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bennion, editor of a new book entitled Teaching Experimental Political Science. I want to tell you why I think that teaching experimental methods is a necessity in today's world. The purpose of the book is to help instructors at all levels and institution types introduce experimental methodology to students across the curriculum. The desire to share this resource with others stems from my deep conviction that teaching experimental methods is good for students, instructors, colleges, universities, communities, and democracy itself. All authors whose work appears in the Teaching Experimental Political Science book agree that reading, discussing, analyzing, and engaging in experimental political science sparks interest, intellectual curiosity, creativity, and engagement among students. In a world where students frequently question the relevance of classroom learning, experiments provide an opportunity to answer the what-if questions students care about most. What if a hypothetical female candidate makes the same statement as her male counterpart? What if we send a specific kind of message to every household, encouraging them to vote? What if we try a different approach to civic learning? What if we change the language of a referendum? Does it affect levels of opposition or support? And does this policy or program really work? Other benefits of teaching experimental political science include clearly demonstrating the relevance of political science education, teaching the critical thinking skills required for an informed citizenry, promoting appreciation for the scientific method, highlighting the importance of evidence-based decision-making, and developing marketable skills that students can use after graduation. It is common for people to question the relevance and value of a college education. Teaching experimental political science is an easy way to demonstrate the everyday relevance of the skills we teach. Learning experimental methods prepares students to be problem solvers. It teaches that some solutions are more effective than others, that causal evidence is key to understanding which solutions will work, and that a person does not need advanced technical skills to carefully evaluate evidence. Seeing how experiments have been used to study real-world problems and solving the problems that arise when designing an experiment helps students to practice the analytical skills they will draw upon throughout their lives. Teaching the experimental method provides important critical thinking skills for people living in a democracy. As alternative facts and conspiracy theories circulate widely, teaching experimental methods reinforces the importance of formulating falsifiable hypotheses and admitting when your assumptions about the world are proven false. It is important to engage in democratic deliberation and decision-making, but that's impossible when people cannot agree on basic facts, or they discount claims that are empirically and demonstrably false. It's important to be able to know, is this true? Is there any basis for it in fact? We can have different opinions, but we don't want to disagree about things that are proven empirically. The practice of formulating a hypothesis is empirically testing that hypothesis. This helps students to understand the difference between unsupported claims and established facts, supported by carefully conducted research and replication. Public reactions to the COVID-19 pandemic and the accompanying explosion of unfounded assumptions, misunderstandings, and misinformation about the virus highlight the importance of scientific literacy, giving individuals the tools needed to understand how science works and how it doesn't. With confirmation bias often driving people's views about the world around them, teaching experimental methods sharpens students' critical thinking skills by allowing them to distinguish between an unsupported claim and an evidence-based argument. It helps them to understand how randomized controlled trials work and to recognize what we know and what we don't know yet about the world around us. Experimental political science gives students the tools they need to question simplistic notions and claims about what people think and believe. At a time when public opinion polls are ubiquitous and horse race coverage dominates the media election cycle, allowing students to design their own survey experiments helps them to understand the importance of randomization, context, and representative samples, and to recognize how susceptible people are to question wording, question order, images, and other cues designed to shape rather than measure public opinion. These skills move them from passive consumers to active participants in their own learning process and provide useful skills that allow them to analyze the value of the information they receive. Experimental methods are exciting because they move us from correlation to causation, About 20 years ago, a study in the New England Journal of Medicine revealed that patients with osteoarthritis of the knee who underwent placebo arthroscopic surgery, in which small incisions were made but no instruments were inserted and no cartilage was removed, were just as likely to report pain relief as those who received the real procedure, which involves removing cartilage through washing or cutting. This randomized control trial called into question the value of a billion-dollar industry in an operation that was being performed over 650,000 times each year in the U.S. Randomized control trials take place in social science too, whether studying how to mobilize college students to vote, whether a particular program increases student learning, how specific messages affect people's views of a politician or public policy, or even how to incentivize more people to study experimental political methods. Experiments provide an opportunity to test how specific interventions influence people's opinions, attitudes, and behaviors. The experimental method can be used by people from all walks of life, positions on the political spectrum, academic fields, and professions. Colleges face pressure to provide students with skills that make them career ready. Experimental methods training provides students with valuable skills they can use in a wide variety of positions in the for-profit, nonprofit, and government sectors. Finally, teaching experimental political science enhances faculty productivity and satisfaction by providing a way to combine teaching, research, and service while investigating real-world topics and answering questions that matter deeply to students, researchers, policymakers, political practitioners, and the community at large. As students become co-researchers, a new world of possibilities opens up to them and to their instructors, campuses, and communities. Teaching experimental political science is a necessity in today's world. The chapters in Teaching Experimental Political Science make it easy for instructors at all institution types to integrate experimental methods into their courses at all levels. There are chapters on how to help students conduct their own survey experiments in a single semester, how to find a subject pool, how to use templates to engage students with writing or math anxiety, and how to use workbooks that combine silly examples from reality TV with examples from peer-reviewed academic articles to help students deeply understand the logic of experimental research. We tell you how to train students in the ethics of experimental research, how to prepare them to go out in the field, and how to set up your own experimental lab. We talk about how to create lab procedures and manuals that allow you to prevent problems and react quickly and effectively if things go wrong. We even teach you how to use rapid results experiments to recruit prospective students and majors, how to harness the power of students' diverse backgrounds and experiences, and how to help new students begin to think like researchers from day one. Whether you want to teach the logic of experimental methods in a single class session, integrate experimental methods across the curriculum in small doses, or teach a full unit or course, this book has something for you. Go to elgar.com to learn more.